Good morning. This is Deborah Matthews, Vicar of Verwood, with my thoughts for this week. In church today, we are holding the service of Candlemas, and we will be thinking about the reading from Luke's Gospel, which describes the day when Jesus is 40 days old and taken by Mary and Joseph to be presented at the temple. Luke tells us that the time had come for purification according to the law of Moses, and Mary and Joseph took for a sacrifice a pair of turtle doves or of 2 young pigeons, according to what they could afford. In the temple, the priest offered the sacrifice to the Lord on their behalf for Mary's cleansing after childbirth. After this, Mary can return to her busy life. That ritual today can look outdated to us. The purification of women after childbirth does not sit well with many of us, because we are not subject to purity laws. But the concept of women having time at home with their babies and close family, away from the usual pressures of life, before they go back to the constant demands of the world, sounds a very sensible idea to me. In this culture in the Mosaic law, a firstborn son was designated as holy to the Lord. Every firstborn male was consecrated to the Lord. So when parents took their sons into the temple to present them to the priest, they took a redemption fee as laid down by the law. Jesus was presented and sanctified before God. And while he was there in the temple with his parents, Jesus was recognized by Simeon and Anna, these 2 elderly people who spent their lives in the temple, saw in him the Messiah that they had longed for. But Simeon warned Mary that she would suffer because of her child, and a sword would pierce her soul. In the Christian tradition, it is no longer obligatory to be purified after childbirth before our babies can be baptised, but there is still a service which is occasionally used if a mother asks for it. It is found in the Book of Common Prayer, and it is entitled The Churching of Women. I remember my mother telling me that she was churched before I was christened, but that was a very long time ago. We can usually trace back the meaning of the rituals within our culture and religious life. It may seem at times that rituals have become outdated, but they have a purpose. They don't exist just for their own sake. Rituals can reach the parts of us that nothing else can. They reach deep within us and far beyond our conscious thoughts, and they help us to see more clearly what is otherwise obscured. In the Christian church today, the ritual of welcome into the church is baptism or christening. It actually refers to the same thing. We baptise babies and people of all ages. There is no fee for a christening, although we are always very grateful when parents bring a donation. But I'm very glad that today there is no expectation of turtle doves or pigeons. Those who come to be baptised today are welcomed into the church. Before their baptism, I ask parents and godparents to commit to bringing their child up in the Christian faith, to bringing them to church, and to teach them to know Jesus. Adults and older children make their own promises for themselves. And then at the font, I baptise with the water that has been blessed, in the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. There is still the concept of the holy water being cleansing for us, so that we are ready to begin the lifelong journey with Jesus. There is no age restriction to proclaiming that you want to follow Jesus, and I would be delighted to hear from any of you if you would like to be baptised. Well, today's celebration of the presentation of Jesus is also called Candlemas, and that is because at our celebration on this day, we bless the candles to be used in church for the coming year. And we proclaim that Jesus is the light of the world. Each person is given a candle at their baptism, which they take out with them into the world as a symbol that they are a child of Christ. God bless you, and may you find the light of Christ in your life.